Hi, I'm Justin Gambrell, and this is Intermediate Dobro. This video is going to be the second within the small series on how to chop. And where the first video was focused on chopping like a mandolin, this video is going to be focused on chopping like the banjo. The one thing that's cool about the dobro is that we have the ability to play within certain different styles, where the mandolin really just has that one chop, and the banjo really just has this one chop. The dobro has the ability to choose. And so what's nice for us is being able to add to this repertoire. So if you have the mandolin chopped down well, it's nice to try to work on something else that can, again, change up how you might do your backups in different instances. So if you ever listen to a song where a banjo has to chop, and that doesn't happen often, that really is just when there isn't a mandolin, which is normally when the mandolin's taking a break, that a banjo is going to chop in the background. And so when you listen to it, you'll be able to see some of the differences and how it's trying to still rhythmically be like a mandolin, but doing it in its own way. Now, unlike the mandolin, I don't play the banjo. So I can't really give you anything right here for myself. But I'm going to play a short clip from an old video that my band submitted to a contest, where when I go to take a mandolin break, the banjo player then starts to chop in the background. And you can see in context kind of how it continues to push that rhythm forward. So let's take a moment and listen to that. So I hope that does give a nice little explanation and demonstration on how the banjo chop sounds in context. And just like with the mandolin, our goal is to mimic that as much as possible. So there are certain things that are really nice and similar between the two styles. And really, your left hand, the steel, is not going to be any different. It is, you want to hold for a quick moment, and then release to mute with your fingers that are behind the steel to create that more choppy sound. You might not hold all the strings over because you might not be playing all 6 strings. But we're going to hold down on the ones that are and continue to mute it. The difference now is with our picks. We're no longer wanting to strike all the strings. We're not just gliding across all of them quickly. We want to pick 3 strings. In the most simple version, I would pick the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. So your G, D, and G. Just go with those 3 for now. And then you're going to pluck them and then quickly mute. So some people might take this sort of chop to be the first one to do over the other chop. It really is just up to you to choose what you want. I generally would use this chop if I want to do other more fancy stuff, because this chop very quickly turns into adding other rhythms mixed in with it, and you can do very interesting and fun things. But this is its most basic sense, and that's all we really want to focus on right now, is just being able to So now, just like we did before, where we played to Mama Don't Low, I'm going to play to that same recording, that same backup track of Mama Don't Low. But rather than doing that mandolin chop, I'm going to do the banjo chop. And you can compare the 2 videos side by side on just how different it sounds. You can be trying it yourself. I mean, even as you listen now, try it both ways to see what it sounds like differently, how it might change the song and change how it feels. So let's go ahead and try that one right now. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Well, we don't care, Mama don't allow, cause we're gonna play it anyhow. Mama don't allow no bluegrass playing around here. Well, Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. Well, we don't care, Mama don't allow, cause I'm gonna play it anyhow. Mama don't allow no Dobro playing around here. So that is how it sounds to be using more of that chop rather than the other one. And throughout, you could also see me doing a little bit of extra fancy stuff, both with the low string and going back and forth a little bit more. That's just a taste of things that I'm going to discuss in later videos more heavily devoted to how we can do those different things within our backups. So once you kind of have that generally down, you can begin to mess with some different things. In a song like that, I would probably stick to those 3 strings. But if you go with your 4th and 5th string, the G and the B, you get a nice, more major sound. If you go with your 2 high strings, depending on what different strings you're choosing, you're going to get a different sound. And all that requires different ways in how to hold your steel, how to play with your picks, different things to do to mute the strings properly. And I taught you the basic of what you generally do, but take the time. If you're working on songs on yourself or in a small group, you can figure out what kinds of chops might sound good in the background and continue to work to make them sound better and make different songs sound different. You just want to complement the song that you're doing best. So go ahead and take that and begin to integrate it into your jams and all of your playing. And I hope that you'll stay tuned later for when this series picks up and continues to have more and different ways to chop and add rhythm in bluegrass better. So go on out there and have some fun picking.